Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hello everybody, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thank you for joining me. We're going to explore together July the 6th through the 13th, 2025. We've got some interesting planetary things going, but we've had that going on for quite a while. Nothing new there. So many new and unique things have been thrown at us. And you know, I have to apologize. I've been trying to do this podcast for quite a while, meaning last night and today. And I just have some noisy animals. Excuse me. I thought that last night, you know, being the nighttime's coming, and they were just being birds and geese and turkeys and parrots and dogs. They were just on a noisy thing because the full moon coming up on Thursday. And usually Sunday mornings it's quite quiet and calm. It's a nice time to take the coffee out and sit on the back porch with the dogs and watch the chickens scratching around, eating all those insects that I didn't want around in the first place. It's not that way this morning. Everybody is vocal. The rooster was screaming, the hens were screaming. Of course, they're laying eggs. Here we go with the dogs. Poor Charlie, trying to make this into a recording. Good heavens. The rooster was celebrating that the girls were laying eggs, and the girls were celebrating that they were laying eggs, and the dogs are barking because they're just dogs. And it is not a typical Sunday morning, and I can't let this go any longer, so I hope you'll forgive the background noise. Or Charlie has magic, maybe, I don't know, these technical things, but I've done my best to try to keep it quiet, but it doesn't seem that that's going to be the kind of morning we're going to have. So we have a full moon, as I said, coming on Thursday, which full moons offer a little bit more energy, a little bit more craziness sometimes, lunacy, a little bit more frantic thinking, so it's harder to calm our mind. But it also offers energy, so if there's anything that you need to do, especially in this heat, which saps our energy sometimes, plan for maybe around, well, the full moon technically is 3 days. The energy field of it is about 3 days. So plan for around 3 days if you can, and you've got some projects you want to get done. That's the beautiful time to do it. So you've got the day before, which would be Wednesday, you've got Thursday, and you've got Friday. So I would plan for maybe, well, I have to weed whack, I swear, every minute around here. Everything is growing like crazy. But I would plan for the bulk of some of my physical work, moving the dog food around, pallets arriving, weed whacking, cutting the grass, pruning the trees, all that physical work. I would try to use those 3 days around Thursday to get it done, so it's not as much of a drag on your body. You're doing it when your body feels like it. You try to work with the vibration. Now, Cancer is still our zodiac sign above us. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about those parrots. I have them in the farthest corners of this house, and yet they're still reverberating. So you have some music in the background there. So we're going to have Capricorn energy in the moon on Wednesday, and that's when the full moon is going to be. But technically, the zodiac sign that we're under right now is Cancer, and Cancer's ruling planet is the moon. So we've got this moon stuff going on, and that really equates to love. And now that's a segue for me to move into what I wanted to talk about, but I'm just going to put that off just a little bit because this is really going to allow and try to draw us into a different kind of an energy than what we're looking at on the radio and on TV and maybe in line trying to check out, or looking at prices. It doesn't make us feel loving and soft and kind. So we'll come back to that. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we process, that is in Leo. Now Leo's a fire sign, and so there can be some grr with that. There can be some fire, like maybe impulse, quick to ignite. So we have to watch that, especially with the heat. I'm finding even it's wearing. I love the heat, and I don't have air conditioning in the house or my car, so calories are falling off me pretty fast. Lovely. But I find with the animals, they're crankier with each other. The chickens are chasing the ducks, and the ducks are chasing the baby chickens, and the geese are chasing the chickens, and the guinea hens chasing the geese. And the dogs are a little short with each other. I noticed yesterday. I'm very, very attuned to body language, and normally they're very, very affectionate. And this one rescue dog that I have, Rags, he was scheduled for euthanasia because he was just nasty, nasty, nasty. He didn't mean to be. It was just the circumstances that contributed to that. But you had to be real careful with him. Now he's way past that. He's my best behaved dog. He's just good, but he was cranky. I went to go over there to give him a good big hug. He was sitting on the other side of the couch, and he gave me a look. He gave me a look that if your partner would have looked at you like that, you wouldn't be speaking for 2 weeks. What the heck, Rags? Why are you so... So he gets off the couch with this look, and roachy back, and he just walks away on his tiptoes. I thought, wow, you're a stinker. And then maybe a little bit later, maybe about an hour or so, he usually likes to look at me through the window if he's outside when I'm making his dog food. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he just turned and stalked away. Like, how dare you look at me? What is the matter with him? And then I realized it's the heat. He's just not happy. So as it cooled down, I got his grooming brushes out, and he loves to be groomed. He's so fancy when he's groomed. And he's groomed almost every day. All my dogs are, to check them over. And he loved it. Like, he turned back into the Rags that I know, love, and cherish. And I just groomed him and fussed over him and made it very pleasant. Got him in his little doggy pool to cool his feet. So, sometimes we don't respect that another animal or person has feelings that maybe would prefer to be alone, or they're feeling sticky, and we push ourselves on them, or we're not paying attention, and it's not a two-way conversation. It becomes a one-way interaction, all coming through us, but not taking into consideration the other partner in that conversation, even dogs and birds. My birds haven't been cranky, but I think parrots like it really hot and sticky and tropical. But that's where this energy is. Watch for that. Just be careful that you don't ignite, or be careful that somebody around you doesn't ignite. And what we've got to be careful of here is being aware of what their feelings are or what they're going through. I call it engagement. When we're truly engaged in a conversation, you're looking at their body language, they're looking at yours. If you were boring them and the conversation was getting mundane or too much, you can see it in the body. But most people just drone on, and they don't seem to pay attention to that. So we have to be more interactive, where we're really careful. I'm going to go down the basement. These birds are terrible. So we have to be more, when I say interactive, being aware of what's going on the other side of us. And I notice that in the dogs, when people come out here for training. So many times, they're not even aware of their dog. Yes, they love their dog, but they'll go walk away, and they won't let the dog have a moment to think about getting up and going, and they just pull them. Or the dog wants to smell something, and they haven't trained them or had a good engagement, interaction, and they're dragging them away from something. So how fun is that for the dog in his walk? So what we have to do is be more conscious of what others around us are feeling, going through. I have a few friends lucky, lucky me, that are very aware. And if maybe I've had a particular physical day and maybe I'm being happy to them, but they'll see it and they'll say, boy, you're tired, aren't you? Or it looks like you expended quite a bit of energy today. They notice, and it's wonderful to be seen, to be noticed, to truly with a loving heart. And that's what this Cancer energy is for us right now, is a loving heart. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is communicative. So we're getting all this wonderful stuff from the universe to be able to communicate, to talk to each other, to understand each other, opportunities to observe each other, our animals, our our environment that's around us, and then process it. What does that mean? And to top that all off, we have Virgo, and Virgo knows how. Virgo's a wonderful analyzer, and Virgo knows how to take all that information and put it in a category, organize it, and come up with an answer. So we got everything going for us. All right, here's the caveat. Sorry. On the 18th of this month, Mercury, the planet of the mind, will be going retrograde. Now, retrograde terrifies me because most of us don't think on a good day, let alone when our mind energy is going backwards. So I'm very careful driving because I know this is the time that people make mistakes. They go through red lights, they go through stop signs. They're not thinking, they're not processing, they're in their own head. They may say something hurtful, not meaning it, but they're just not thinking. Or your brain isn't there to engage. Like, why can't I add 2 and 2? What's the matter with me? Or we just make mistakes and you think, uh-oh, I'm ready for the nursing home. I can't believe I just did that, because our mind isn't fully engaged. So we have to be careful. We have 3 weeks of that. And it starts about 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, depending on how sensitive you are, ahead of time. And for my little sensitive people, it can be another week later than that. So you could be looking easily at 4 to 4.5 weeks of muddle head. So if you know your head's going to be muddled, what steps do you need to take to not let yourself get into a problem? Yes. So then on Monday, we may, health-wise, want to look at being proactive and not engage in any foods that are inflammatory. Or if you have difficulties with your liver, your hips, your thighs, your lower part of your back, because that's going to be a very, very vulnerable part for this week. Now, some sensitive people will have felt that a week or 2 ahead of time. When Sagittarius is in the moon, it can affect that lower band around the pelvis, the hips, sciatica, your sacrum. All of that area becomes sad. Some of us get hurt pretty good and we need to go to the chiropractor, and some of us need our healing pad, and some of us need creams, and some of us need DMSO, and some of us just hurt. So, or all of the above. So just be aware of that. And then to make matters a little bit more complicated, right following that is the moon will be in Capricorn, and that rules backbone, your knees, your joints, all of that. And then you add the full moon accentuating all that energy. Our sensitive people felt it a week or 2 weeks ahead of time, and maybe they'll be through it faster than we were. The people that aren't terribly sensitive may cruise through it without recognizing it right away. This will be a time, for instance, that I would not take any sugar, treats, wouldn't eat chocolate. I'm even careful of the fruits that I would choose just because they're high sugar, even though the fiber helps a little. But I wouldn't be eating 5 prunes before I go to bed because I'd end up with muscle spasms. Your body won't tolerate it. So just be very careful of what you're eating and what you're doing to your body. Maybe go to Google and find inflammatory foods, make the list. Inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory foods, and make the list. And so you have it right in front of you, put someplace convenient, and you're looking at it. Now, back to that Cancer energy, it's about love. And the universe is made up of the strongest forces in the universe, of course, and that is love. Love is the strongest force in the universe. So they're offering us this time, both with the retrograde coming and Cancer, to go back for ourselves, individually and globally, to reinvent, to understand for ourselves, what does love mean to you? So that we can go back and maybe transform into love, to do things with a more loving nature, to let that talk in our head that can be nasty and cruel and self-centered, and turn that into love language. So with Rags and his little nasty, I mean, he didn't bite me, he wasn't even close to that, but I could see he wasn't a happy camper. Part of it could have been I had a lot of people out that day as well, and I was working with their dogs, and poor Rags didn't get to be a demo dog, which he loves, and I was running short of time, and Rags didn't help me find the eggs, because he gets rewarded for pointing out all the eggs around the farm, and he loves doing that, and I didn't have time. I know where the eggs are, I just pretend he's doing me a good thing. Well, sometimes he helps me. So that kind of probably threw him off. So he was kind of thrown to the side, I guess, by his standards that day. And granted, they were all good. All my dogs suffered that day because I had so many dogs coming in and out that day. They just were in their big compound, but not treated the way they are normally treated through a day. So they felt unloved. So then I had to see that. And a lot of people, when Rags was a puppy, didn't see that attitude, and then he'd get so mad he'd bite, because they'd want to hug him and kiss him and love on him, and he wasn't in the mood, and he was already nasty, so he did the only thing a dog can do when you won't listen to them. He'll bite you, and he'd bite hard, and then he'd warn them, he'd growl, and they'd say, "Don't you dare growl at me." So they'd take the growl away from him, so he had no warning. That rattle from the rattlesnake was gone. So he'd go from quiet to bite hard. He bit the whole family more than once, and he has 5 legal bites against him. I've had him now for probably 3 years. Only once did he bite me, and he went right through my hand. That's when I first got him, and that was on me, not him, because I pushed. I wanted to see where his boundary was, and I wanted to see what he, how fast he was. I needed to know. I needed to know what I was dealing with. So I sacrificed my hand. And it was a good one. Never again has that ever happened. Ever. Ever. Because I didn't acknowledge the bite. I pretended it didn't happen, and we just kept going. And that was a new thing for him, because everybody would scream and holler and make a big drama thing about it. And then he realized that his bite meant nothing to me. We were just going to keep on going. I'm clipping your nails, bucko. I'm going to brush you, bucko. You're going to come over here, bucko. And if you do, we have hot dogs, we have cookies, we have balls, we have happy, we have energy. Which do you choose? Do you choose happy and fun and doing the right thing? Or do you choose to be a turd? And he mostly always chooses to be a happy, tail-wagging Australian Shepherd. So our people are the same. And that love is being offered to us to understand, what does love mean to you? How do you see love? When somebody does something for you, how does that translate to love for you? So what we have to do is let the universe, let the love, the universe, lead us right now. It's offering to be the leader and to take us on a magic carpet ride. And magic things happen. When we live in love, it is amazing. I can't explain it to you. It's amazing how amazing things happen. Everything just goes together, and it's really magical. And we're being offered an opportunity right now to transform ourselves, to transform everything that works for us, to find out what works for us. So we have two choices in life. We can choose love, or we can choose fear. And that's where we are right now. Love causes us to do super things. When people do those amazing superhero things, it's because of love. And fear is anger and mean and causes us to do horrible things. Which wolf are you going to feed? The wolf of love or the wolf of anger or fear? Our leaders that are, I'm not going to mention names, that are not in love, that are mongering, fear-mongering, making people turn against each other, calling other nationalities names, seeding hate like a farmer seeds oats. That is not anybody we need to follow. That is not anybody we need to listen to. We have to listen to the source. And the source wants us to love. Remember, it's easier to love. It really is than it is to hate. It takes a lot of bad energy to hate. And love is easy. And that's the whole purpose of our existence, is to love. I went through a difficult period of time in my life, and I said to the universe, use me for light and love. And if you can't show me how I can live in light and love, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live on that other side. And then, like I said, magic carpet ride. It was like a red carpet just rolled out and everything shifted. But I had to be willing to take the journey. I had to be willing to take those steps. And so do you. Are you going to take the steps of love? Are you going to take the steps of fear? Who are you going to follow? Who are you going to listen to? That's our choice right now. That's what's being offered to us. And on that note, in love, I want to thank our Charlie O'Brien, who has taken quite a few little cat scratches for me trying to get a cat out here. That man is patient and loving. So be like Charlie. Be loving. Find somebody that you admire that's kind and is loving. Emulate them. Read material that makes you fall in love again with nature, with your animals, with the trees, with things. Try to cultivate in you, not just this week, but for a long time now, things that make you feel good. And if you can do that, you can pass that on. If you don't feel it, you can't share it. If you don't own it, it's not yours to give away. So that's what we have to work on. So thank you, Charlie, for being such a loving guy, trying to get King Leo out here to me and taking all that physical abuse. And Charlie puts us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon, SoundCloud, YouTube, and then he gives me the link and I put it on Facebook. And I want to lovingly thank all of you for taking your time to listen to me rant. I'm really, really grateful for all of that. I am. Go out, be kind to each other. If you would like me to help you with your animal to understand where they're coming from in any behavioral issues, or just because you want the most out of your dog, or you want a reading for yourself, for your family, I'm happy to do that. Text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week. Love each other. It's easier that way. Go get a hot dog at Costco. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.